An Open Letter to J.K. Rowling, or My Life in Harry Potter. I didn't have many friends in primary school. Yeah, sometimes the stereotypes are true. I was born a caricature, cribbed neatly into an uncomplex little box. Large glasses, larger front teeth, copious amounts of bushy hair, and very few friends. I spent my playtime sat on a low wall, cloistered in the rhododendrons and stereotypically reading. Tatty Roald Dahls from the waning shelves that served muster as a school library. Yellowing Enid Blytons taken from my grandmother's house and read by my mother when she was a girl. Books were already my friends, my adventures, and my refuge. I must have been about 9 when my parents presented me with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I didn't want to read it. I didn't like the cover, I hadn't chosen it, and worst of all, everyone else liked it. I was only 9, but already I was very aware of the fact that I was clearly some sort of superior girl child, a secret princess, ninja, horse tamer, or combination thereof. Anything others liked should be treated as highly suspicious. My mother had to bargain with me. She sat me down on the edge of her bed, threaded the book between my pudgy claws, and commanded I read the first chapter. Then I could come down for dinner. I had to be fetched. I began reading, and I continued reading, and reading had to eventually be wrested from me. I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on a family holiday to visit my grandma. I remember being terrified of that book in a way I've never been terrified of a book since. I was reading it before my brain got tied down to understanding how books always go. It didn't occur to me that there might be books beyond this one I held in my hand, and thus reasons for anyone to survive beyond the final page. My father bought me Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Home, after work, on the back of his motorbike, still clad in full motorcycle leathers. He pulled it from the taciturn slip of his rucksack like a rabbit from a hat. I hadn't even known it existed. My mum got me the books on cassette tape, one at a time, to wait out the expense. Near every night from then on, I was lulled to sleep by the dulcet, honeyed tones of Mr. Stephen Fry. I was prepared for Goblet of Fire. When it came out, I wanted to go to King's Cross Station and meet J.K. Rowling herself. I would tell her I was her biggest fan, that Hermione was just like me, that I'd probably read all her books at least a staggering 6 times and listened to them even more. My mum wouldn't let me go, and I was furious. But soon distracted. This new book fast became my everything. I doodled my name in pencil down the edges, and still to this day name it as my favourite. Also now I was the very grown-up age of 11. I was leaving primary school and was surely about to start at my very own version of Hogwarts. I did what Harry did, meticulously reading my offer letter and purchasing lists of school supplies, less standard book of spells grade 1, more French dictionary, got my train to school, less gleaming red steam engine, more cramped and arthritic district line, and began on this grand new adventure, where I would be some new and other magical version of myself. School somewhat lacked that fantastical bang, though, and started with more of a whimper. Netball was fun. Language lessons appalling. I desperately wanted to win green merit stickers and be the best in form. I wasn't completely friendless, but the group I'd fallen in with, we none of us liked each other that much. The library was huge, though, and beautiful. I would go and carefully pick out new books to consume. Random books, books where the cover seemed intriguing, a title promised a great deal. I was falling back into old habits, and would sit and read throughout all else. Then I met them. I was upstairs in the library, of course, when I saw a girl reading something printed out on crisp white sheets of A4. And on one of those papers there was a pencil drawing of 2 people about to kiss. I smiled to myself, because that was just how I imagined Ron and Hermione, on the verge of getting together, as, after Goblet of Fire, we knew they inevitably must. I did something then I wouldn't normally do. I'm not sure why. I spoke up and asked her about the picture. She explained to me that it was Ron and Hermione from these books called the Harry Potter books, and they were getting together as they inevitably must, now that we'd all read Goblet of Fire. She was reading Ron and Hermione fanfiction, Would I like to read with her, theorise with her, write with her? There were more of us. We gravitated unfailingly towards each other, sharing everything based on these books, this point where our lives all intersected so intrinsically. They introduced me to whole worlds, fandoms and forums, art and other authors. When the release date for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix was announced, we started planning instantly. We sewed robes, bought hats, stocked up on snacks and persuaded parents like never before. There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other. And queuing for 8 hours while listening to Wizard Rock, pouring each other into well-grubbed photos, and wide-eyedly sharing theories well-bubbled through excitement. Well, that's definitely one of them. That was the first of many queues. We went to movie premieres and squished into each other in ways that would have been very intimate were it not through necessity in broad daylight and amongst crowds of 4,000 strangers. We littered the streets with our berobed bodies outside bookstores I would one day work for. We held hands in films and made our own butterbeer. It was a disaster. Somehow it kind of fermented and became cheese. And as we grew older, boyfriends and girlfriends and otherwise more than friends came and went from our tangles. When Deathly Hallows finally came out, we had sewed banners and poured out 100 chocolate frogs. And we sat in a circle and read, together aloud, a page each, stopping for breaks to sleep when one of us simply couldn't bring forth words anymore, couldn't see through exhaustion. I cried at that ending. But it was one ending, amongst a myriad of continuings that will probably continue my whole life long. I continued to go on and meet people through these books, through helping to start a Harry Potter society at my university, through throwing Yule balls and playing games of Quidditch. I went on studio tours to plays full of secrets, and I have never had to do any of these things alone. This year, that girl who I met in the library, I went to her wedding. I wore my Gryffindor cardigan to a job interview to remind me I can be courageous, and so far in the annual reread, I'm back at the Quidditch World Cup. What would I say to J.K. Rowling if I ever got to meet her? A few seconds at the head of a signing queue or a disbelieving gape as she passed me in the street. How would I sum up all this, quickly and without sounding like an absolute loon? I don't think I could. As tired as the phrase may be, these books honestly changed my life. I read and buried myself in their friendships, and through them I made my own. Friendships vital and life-affirming. My life as it currently is does not exist without them. Thank you. That's what I'd say. A completely inadequate and too small thank you. Thank you. Another little thank you to the Harry Potter colouring books for inspiring me to make this video. I was sent 3 copies of the books you saw me colouring in this video, and I was sent 3 whole sets to give away to all of you guys. Same story as always, there'll be one on Facebook, one on Instagram, one on Twitter. Do go enter in all those places if you want to try and win them. If you entered for my last giveaway to win all the books I was winning in July, I am here to announce the winners for you. Those are on Facebook, Jennifer Choi, on Twitter, Eleanor Robertson, and on Instagram, HP_bookslovey, which seems appropriate considering the subject matter of this video. Good luck winning what you can. See you in my next video. Bye.